So what we have here is a PowerA Mini Pro EX controller. I've got about 4 of these right now. I think they're the best possible controller you can get and plug into a PC for games like Rocket League, really any controller-based game that will require or work best with the Xbox-style controller. I usually was gaming with the F310 by Logitech, but this thing is it's just bulky and huge, and it doesn't seem like it's got the kind of reach and feel that it should for appropriate gaming. So what I have problems with on these is they have a push switch that the R button and the L button use on the circuit board inside that seems to be getting wore out pretty easily. I guess maybe I game too much or who knows, but the fact of the matter is I had replaced some recently and I couldn't find any information on how to do that, so I kind of had to figure it out on my own. Figured I'd put a video up for everybody. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with these screws here in the bottom. There's basically 2, 4, 6 of them on the bottom, and we'll go ahead and pull those out now. You will, of course, need a soldering iron to do this, and the proper tools for that: solder, flux, all that good stuff. Oops. I learned when you take these apart, you wanna lift them off from the back. You tend to have all the buttons fall out. If you take it apart this way, all your buttons will fall all over the table, and then you have to put them all back in. So when you get to this point, you'll find there is another single silver screw right here. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. Zoom in a little bit. Right there. There's that silver screw right there. So we'll have to take that out. Do try not to slip and hit any of the microchips on here, because you could cause more of a problem than you're going to fix. There's another tactile push switch, the same exact one that you're going to be replacing in this video, right here, and that's for the lights to be turned off and on the controller. So once you get that screw out, you can lift out your motors and remove the circuit board. Now, I would set this down somewhere face down like it is, so that it does not, again, spill your buttons everywhere. Alright, so here we have those switches that I was talking about. Let's see if I can get a good zoom on it. There's one right there. Let's see. Okay, that's the little guy right there. There's these little switches right here. And it took me a minute to find them, but what they're called is a 3mm by 4mm by 2mm tactile push switch. I actually found it on eBay just by looking 3x4 by 2mm tactile push switch. So that was actually pretty easy to find. So these little guys right here, we need to desolder and solder some new ones down. I find these little alligator clip holders work great. You just want to make sure you don't clip it anywhere that you're going to break any of the other circuits off. So once you have that, you can take your soldering iron and you can desolder this first switch here. I would recommend you take and apply a little bit of flux to it, because that will help to get the solder they put on there to come off easier. This is what they call solder wick. It's like a copper wicking wire that will draw away the solder that they had used. Just kind of rub it back and forth and let the flux and the wick do the work for me. And I should be able to grip it with some tweezers. There we go. And it should come off with a little extra heat on each end. Voila. So there we go. We have now removed the tactile push switch that was problematic from this corner here. And to install the new one, it's pretty simple. You just get it out. Doesn't really matter which way you put it in, because it's just kind of a positive negative closing the circuit kind of deal. So get a little bit of solder on your soldering iron here. Try not to melt it all over your controller. Let's try this again. There we go. Now I got some solder. So I got a good little blob of solder on my iron here. I'm just going to set this down right in the same little place that the original switch is in. And just show it some love. Cool. So that switch is, I could shift it over a little bit. That's more better. Okay. And then just a little on this side here. And voila. That's done. Of course, what I like to do is take some alcohol and a toothbrush, clean off the excess flux, because that stuff is, you know, if you've got the right kind of corrosive.